We are going to be lying down on our backs today to begin. So go ahead and make your way there. At some point, you might want a couple of blocks or some pillows or a stack of blankets or all of the above for later on in our practice. But for now, let's just get comfortable on our backs. Feel free to stretch your legs out long. If that doesn't feel good on your low back, you can always bend your knees and plant your feet and kind of like tuck your tailbone under so that your low back's a little bit more lengthened. I invite you to close your eyes here. Start to bring your awareness into your breath. Nice slow belly breaths. We'll do a few rounds of Brahmari breath before we start moving. And so just as a reminder, if it's been a minute since you've done Brahmari or if you've never done it before, the inhale comes in through your nose, the exhale you're humming, like as if you were oming, but your mouth is just very gently closed. Okay, so we'll try it together. You may have a different cadence of breath than I do, and that is okay. Okay, so let's begin by breathing in. Our exhale is our hum. We'll continue with that about 4 more times. Nice deep breath in. So keep going at your own pace. Last 2. One more time. The next time you inhale, let your breath return to normal. Let's take the hands just behind the backs of the ears. You're just kind of like gently cupping the back of the head with your fingertips. Your elbows are wide. Try to relax your whole upper back and your arms onto your mat. Bend your knees and adjust your pelvis so that more of your low back is pressing down into the mat. And then let's float the feet off the floor and try to extend the feet up towards the ceiling. It's okay if there's a bend in the knees. So you're just lengthening out to the best of your ability with the legs. And just point and flex through the ankles. Just add a little bit of movement there through the ankles and the legs. As you breathe in, see if you can feel your low back pressing down, your pelvis pressing down. On your next exhalation, you're going to bring your right foot forward, extend it out long, hover that heel bone just above the mat a few inches. Keep your low back pressing down. Bring your right foot back up to the ceiling and then extend your left leg forward. You're just letting it hover. And then bring your left leg up. Extend your right leg long. Right leg comes up. Left leg extends. Okay, so you're just switching sides, right and left. Try to synchronize that movement with your breath. So maybe it's your inhale when you come back to center and your exhale to lower one leg. Whatever feels natural to you. Maybe it's the opposite of that, but just do try to synchronize your breath to your movement. Also keeping this nice and slow and controlled. You're not flinging your legs around. You're doing it with purpose, trying to engage those core muscles, trying to engage the hip flexors and the quadricep muscles. A little bit of a stretch to the back of the leg that is staying up in space. We're going to do this one more time on each side. Good, and then come back to center, hug your knees into your chest. Rock a little bit side to side here. Just rolling right to left, just massaging that tissue around the low back. Let's take the hands on top of the knees and then let your knees come away from your belly. And now we're going to draw circles with the knees. So it's like you're rolling around the pelvis. On the back of the pelvis, you're making this big circle. Now we're going to set another way. It's like your knees are drawing a circle on the ceiling. And let's go the opposite direction with our circle. So just pausing and then changing direction with that circle. Couple more times. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. And now we're going to begin to rock and roll the length of the mat. So you're rolling up to a seat and then all the way onto your back. And you can make this a big rock. So when you come onto your back, maybe the feet reach overhead. And then when you come up to a seat, you extend your spine. So I said you can, but you don't have to. So just pay attention to your back muscles and whatever is going on in your spine today, honor that. The next time you come forward, we're going to come into tabletop shape. So in your tabletop, spread your fingers wide and you're going to root down ideally through the inner edge of your hand. So that's your thumb and your index finger. Really root down through that side of the palm. Make sure it's nice and flat. Even engage your fingertips down into the floor. Nice big breath in. Lift your heart. Lift your tailbone. Exhale. Tuck your chin. Tuck your tailbone. Big breath in. Pull the heart forward. Lift the tailbone up. Exhale. Round. Inhale. Heart lifts. Exhale, you're spreading those shoulder blades away from one another. And one more time, in and out of your cat and cow. We're going to kind of add on to this spinal flexion and extension, mobility of the shoulders, and engagement of the core. So from here, let's bring those hands forward just a few inches, and then extend the legs back. You're coming up into a high plank. Now from here, we're going to really isolate the shoulder blade movement. So you're trying to do this scapular push-up. You're trying to press the floor away. You're doming, you're rounding your upper back. And then you're letting your shoulder blade squeeze in towards your spine. So you're kind of depressing the chest down towards the inner biceps. Okay, so it's not a big movement. It might not even really look like I'm doing much of anything. But I know if you're trying this, you're feeling it. It's not an easy thing to do. Scapular push-ups. If you need to bring those knees to the mat and continue with your scapular push-ups, totally fine. Try for 2 more. You're pressing the floor away, rounding your upper back, and then you're letting your chest depress between your biceps. It might sound kind of weird at first, but you'll get the hang of it. Let's set those knees down if they're lifted. Send the hips back to the heels. Find your child's pose. Try to relax your forehead. Even if it's not touching the mat, just let your head hang heavy, nice and long through the back of the neck. Deep breath in. Nice long breath out. Inhale, come forward, and then come all the way down onto the belly. Set up your Sphinx pose. In your Sphinx pose, your elbows are underneath your shoulders, or maybe just a little bit forward of your shoulders. And then you can choose to bring your palms flat and keep your forearms parallel, or you can make more like a triangular shape by interlacing the fingers to the webbing and pressing down through the wrist, pinky side of the wrist. And then here, let's tuck those toes under, lift the pelvis up. You can stay on your knees. You can also lift the knees up. You're coming into a forearm plank. We're going to try and add on those scapular push-ups here. So you're pressing the floor away, really press into the elbows and the forearms, and then let the chest depress towards the mat. So you're trying to keep your hips, your legs stable. The only thing that's moving just like maybe an inch is your upper back and your chest. Again, you can keep those knees on the mat. You can always lower them. 2 more times, try it. And then let's set the knees back down, pelvis releases. Bring your hands to flat, come into your Sphinx pose. So if you had your hands interlaced, release that. Press your palms flat and then take your hands wider. So your hands are like to the outer upper edges of your yoga mat. Stay right there or press the floor away, lift your elbows up. Okay, so either stay with the elbows on the mat or you can lift the elbows up. You're kind of just relaxing in your lower body. 2 breaths here. So this is a variation of Sphinx. We call it seal pose. It's just a little bit bigger of a back bend. If you lifted your elbows up, set them back down. Walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Squeeze your elbows into your waist. Tuck your toes under. Nice deep breath in. Press up to either supported or a high plank. And then let's meet in our first downward facing dog. So lifting those hips high. Relax your head, let it hang heavy. And again, you're really spreading your fingers wide, rolling to the body weight, to the inner edge of your hand. That's the strongest part of your wrist, your thumb and index finger side. Straightening out through the arms, really actively pressing the floor away. Let your head hang heavy. Feel free to bend the knees right and left here. Big breath in. Nice long breath out. Inhale, lift your heel bones high. Bend your knees, tippy-toe your way forward to the top of your mat. And you're just going to ragdoll your upper body over your legs here for a few moments. Let your head hang heavy. A couple options with the arms here. You can interlace the hands around the back of the neck. So you're just adding a little bit of weight to the spine, a little bit more traction between the vertebrae. You can also grab onto your opposite elbows, sway your body side to side. Then you can also just keep it really simple and let the hands dangle towards the floor. Feel free to bend your knees a lot or a little. Breathe into your whole back body, 2 more breaths. All right, let's inhale, halfway lift, fingertips walk up to the shins, lengthen the heart forward. Your spine is straight and strong here. Exhale, forward fold. Again, inhale, find that nice long straight spine, halfway lift. Exhale, back to your forward fold. One more time, inhale, halfway lift. Hands come to the waist, squeeze your shoulder blades into your spine, press into your feet, stand all the way up top of your mat. Sweeping your arms out and up, reach up. Exhale, pull those elbows wide. You're trying to press your chest and your pelvis forward. You can keep your arms like as they are in a cactus shape, or you can extend your arms back behind you, turn your palms to face each other, and maybe you interlace the fingers to the webbing. You can keep a bend in the elbows, or you can try and straighten out through the elbows. Nice deep breath in. On our exhale, we're going to hinge forward over the legs. With or without that bind, you're forward folding over the legs. Let the head relax again. If you've got the bind, start to release it. Plant your hands. Step back to your high plank. You've got 5 scapular push-ups here. So again, you're keeping your whole body like a plank, a board, and you're just depressing the chest and then pressing the floor away. You've got that like 1 to 2 inch movement between the shoulder blades and the chest that's happening. Otherwise, everything else is stable and strong. From your scapular push-ups, press into your hands, lift your hips high, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your right leg up and back. Exhale, step your right foot forward, wide-legged low lunge. So when I say wide-legged low lunge, I mean your right foot is outside of your hands at the top of your mat. So both of your hands are inside of that right foot. And then I want your back leg nice and long. So for those of you that have a tendency to really shorten that back leg, it might look like you have 2 90-degree angle shapes. I want you to tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, wiggle that leg back until it straightens out. You feel a little stretch along that left thigh, and then set the knee back down. From here, let's wobble a little bit side to side. You can roll to the inner and outer edge of your right foot. If your hips are feeling pretty stiff and tight here today, stay up on your hands, stay high. If you're feeling a little bit more mobile and warm, you can walk down onto your elbows. Let's take about 2 more breaths, wherever you are with this. If you came down onto your elbows, maybe walk back up to your hands. I'm going to give you this option to add on a little bit of a back bend and a bind with that back foot. So I'm on my left hand. I'm going to bend my left knee. And then I'm looking over my right shoulder and hip, reaching back with my right hand. As I bend my left knee, I might catch a hold of that foot with the right hand. And you don't have to catch a hold of the foot. You can actually just reach and bend the knee without even making that hand to foot connection. It's extremely valuable to build that strength in that back left leg. But if you do have the hand to foot connection, try not to dump all your body weight into your left wrist and shoulder. Keep pressing the floor away and really open the chest and pelvis. Nice deep breath in here. Long breath out. Stay with me, 1 more breath. And then slowly release. Right hand back to the top of the mat. Tuck those toes. Step to your high plank. Shift forward. Lower to the belly. Set up your Sphinx pose. We're going to come into that forearm plank with 5 scapular push-ups. So forearm plank, tuck your toes. Remember, you can stay on the knees. You're still engaging the core. And begin those scapular push-ups from there. You can also lift the knees and then begin the scapular push-ups. So you've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you lifted your knees, set them back down, release the pelvis, kind of normalize that Sphinx pose, or send your hands wide. Press into your hands and lift your elbows for seal. Just an option. Take 2 breaths wherever you are. If you're coming up into seal, try to keep this out of your ears. So keep that neck nice and long, shoulders down the back. If you lifted your elbows, set them back down. Walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes, engage your leg muscles. Big breath in. Exhale, press up high plank. Lift those hips, downward facing dog. Let's take about 3 breaths here in our downward facing dog. One more breath. We'll do that same little low lunge variation sequence on the left side. Deep breath in, extend your left leg up and back. On your exhale, step your left foot forward, and it's going to be a wide step. So your left foot's to the outer edge, left side of your mat. Both of your hands have space at the top of your mat, inside of that left foot. And then check out what's happening in that back leg. Do you feel a stretch here on that right hip flexor? If not, let's pick up the toes, or actually tuck the toes, pick up the knee, wiggle that foot back until you feel a nice, strong, straight right leg. And then set it down. Okay. Now, maybe we stay up here on our hands. We can add some movement right to left. You can roll to the inner and outer edge of that left foot. I always like to combine a little bit of both. So I typically will start off in a shallow position, and then if I feel like, okay, I'm feeling quite warm and a little bit more limber, then I can explore walking down onto my elbows. But it's not my initial instinct to always go the furthest first. I let my body tell me when to sink a little bit lower. And I should say, it's not my initial instinct because I've trained myself to say, hey, ego, take a back seat. Today I need to go a little bit slower. And sometimes that's appropriate, and sometimes your body is like, okay, I'm here for it. So it's all just a practice of listening. All right, so if you're down on those elbows, maybe just walk back up to your hands. You can just practice bending that right knee, engaging the back of the right leg muscles, and then sweeping that left hand back behind you. But maybe the hand and the foot make that connection. Maybe they're right there. Again, you don't have to make that hand to foot connection to be successful in this. If you do have that hand to foot connection, and actually whether you do or don't, keep pressing the floor away with that right hand. Keep rotating the chest to the left. Let's take about 3 breaths here. Just notice how that feels, where you're getting feedback. 1 more breath. And then slowly release. Left hand plants. You're going to step to your high plank. Lift the hips, find that downward facing dog. Settle in for 3 slow, deep breaths. So let's, from our down dog, lift those heels, bend the knees. You can step, hop, tippy toe, however you want to get to the top of your mat, make your way there. Forward fold, a couple of deep belly breaths. And now from our forward fold, let's reverse uncurl the spine. The head's going to come up last, so you're just kind of ragdolling through the upper body. Eventually the head will come up and stack on top of the spine. And we're going to work a little bit of balance and take that opening the front side body and strengthening the back side body into this standing balancing position, Natarajasana dancer's pose. Okay, so if you want, you can have wall space nearby, if you do have wall space nearby, to kind of help keep you feeling like, oh, I can practice this without falling on my face. And it's okay to fall out of a pose. I don't want you to get the sense that like, oh, I can't fall out of it. No, that's how you teach your muscles how to engage and where to engage to stabilize, which is what a lot of these little ancillary muscles are for, and also our big muscles. So we're going to start off by shifting our body weight into that right foot. Really root down through the inner right foot, big toe mound, maybe even just look at the toes and make sure there's space in between them, and really engage those leg muscles. So you're like really pressing down and pulling that energy into that right thigh, and then start to bend the left knee back behind you. And again, remember when we reached back just a few moments ago, maybe we caught the foot in the hand, maybe we didn't. Okay, so either way, if you're just reaching in the hand to foot, don't connect, that's okay. You're still building that strength and that bent leg, and you're still building that strength and balance in the standing leg. Your left hand is reaching back with or without the bind. And then from here, what we've got going on, maybe that right hand comes to the chest. If the hand is connected to the foot, you might start to pull and lean the body forward. So what happens often, especially for me, is my standing balancing leg, I want to roll to the pinky toe edge of my foot, but that makes me unstable. It makes me feel like I'm going to fall out. So keep pressing down into that big toe of your standing leg. And you've got to have all of these little ancillary muscles and big muscles here that help you do that. So this is why we start to feel wobbly, because your muscles are like, what is going on? And maybe we don't practice it enough. Maybe we just need to work on the strength around the joints a little bit more. So here's your opportunity. Okay, so wherever you're at in that, start to release, come back up to a standing position. Give that right standing leg a little shake. And you can shake out the left leg too, right and left. Just standing here in the middle of your mat, maybe swaying your body side to side. And now we're going to shift body weight into the left foot. Okay, so again, first look at your foot. Press down through the big toe, inner edge of your foot. Really press down into the whole leg and stand up nice and straight. You should feel this like engagement where people talk about like the lifting of those thigh muscles away from the kneecap. You can even kind of like press down or give your quadricep muscle a little pat. That sends a neurochemical message to the thigh muscles to engage. If you haven't done so yet, bend that right knee. Okay, so feel those back leg muscles engage, and if they're not, then again, put your hand there. Maybe you're catching a hold of right ankle, or maybe you're just reaching back. Either way, try to get nice and tall, really stable and rooted on your left leg. That doesn't mean you're not going to wobble. It's okay to wobble. Okay, if you've got the hand to the foot connection, really kick that foot in the hand. Maybe start to lean the body weight forward. You're just layering on little bits of challenge for your body. Your left hand can stay connected to your heart, or you can extend it forward. And if there's that wall space in front of you, it's a really nice way to kind of check the depth of the standing leg extension and how far you can kick that foot into the hand. And if you fall out, don't be afraid to come back in. Again, so every time you're wobbly, every time you're falling out, your muscles are learning something. You have to trust the process about how to build strength, where to come online, and how to help you stabilize. Try to find your breath here, wherever you're at. And then let's make our way out. Give that standing left leg a little shake. Sway the upper body side to side. We're going to move through one more vinyasa flow, and then we'll start to down regulate and head into our yin cooling practice. So come to the top of your mat, standing nice and tall, deep breath in. Exhale, elbows wide. Option to extend the arms back behind you. Maybe you interlace the fingers to the webbing. Elbows can be bent or straight. Hinge from the waist, forward fold over your legs. Relax your head, back of the neck nice and long. All right, let's release those hands. Plant the palms, high plank. Shift forward. In your high plank, slowly lower to your belly. Press the floor away. Medium cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, make your way back to either that child's pose or one more downward facing dog. Let's take about 3 breaths here. All right, we're going to send that right knee forward towards the right wrist. And then I'm going to actually rotate so you can see what I'm doing with my legs. Okay, so you're seated mostly on your right hip. And you see how I have 2 big, deep bends in my knees. So basically I have 2 90-degree angle shapes with my legs. From this position, what's going on with that left leg? Can you look at the left foot and ankle? Now I like to, because we're going to work a little bit more deeply into this left hip flexor and quadricep muscle, I like to straighten out my ankle. So I like to have my toes pointing straight back behind me so that my knee is nice and neutral here. Keeping that ankle flexed puts just a little bit more torque and pressure on that left knee. Okay, so left side, pay attention to what's going on. Where do you feel sensation? Is it in the knee joint? Can we minimize that by pointing the toes back behind you, straightening out through the ankle? And sometimes the range of motion in the ankle just isn't there, and that's not possible, and that's okay. But for you, that means you're probably sitting up just a little bit higher. So we're going to start to bring the hands behind us and see if we can lean back a little bit. You'll probably start to feel some sensation there. For those of you at home that have like a couch behind you, this is a great place to just bring your elbows behind you and lean back on the couch. If you have the range of motion, you can set up some props behind you like a couch cushion or some stacks of pillows, or I'm using yoga blocks in between my shoulder blades and the back of my head to lay onto. Okay. So again, remember this particular setup for this shape, it exists on a spectrum. And what I mean by that is you need to listen to your body, discern what is most appropriate for you, how far can you realistically go into this, and find stillness. And not just like a torturing stillness, but a relaxation, a passive stretch, an ability to let go of your muscular engagement. And if none of that is happening for you, if you're not able to do that, you're going way too far into your shape, so you need to back out. We're just going to be here for a couple of minutes. And while you're here, I'd invite you to close your eyes. Bring your attention and awareness to your breath. And keep noticing sensations and feelings as they come up. And then be willing to let them go and pass. Remember, you're never stuck in any position. You can always get out of it, even before I call time. You can always make adjustments if you've gone too far. And you can always deepen as well if your body's calling you deeper. We have about 4 to 5 more breaths here. One more deep breath in. Nice long breath out. Very slowly, especially if you're pretty far back into this, sit your way up. You're going to roll all that body weight onto your right hip still. And then we're going to extend that left leg out at an angle. Move nice and slow with that. So left leg extends out long at like a 45-degree angle. You can keep your right knee bent and the sole of the foot resting against that inner left thigh, or you can extend that right leg out long to your choice. We're going to come into a forward fold over this left leg. So you might reach back and kind of scoot the flesh of your left glute behind you. And you might bring a couple of props with you surrounding your left knee, so that when you forward fold over your left leg, maybe your elbows are resting on top of something. I like to rest my forehead on top of a block. You could even bring a chair underneath your elbows. Just kind of folding your arms over that chair, framing out that left leg. And we have a couple of minutes here. So take your time to get yourself set up. And then try to settle into that stillness. Whatever you're doing with your upper body, however far you're into this forward fold, try to relax the back of your neck. Try to soften the ears, or the shoulders rather, away from the ears. Try to relax your jaw, the muscles of your face. Slow, deep belly breaths. We have about 4 more deep breaths here. One more breath. You can start to press into your hands, uncurl your spine. Now we're going to switch out our legs. So we'll bend that left knee again and then shift all the body weight onto your left hip. You're going to pull your right knee behind your left foot. So you have these two 90-degree angle shapes with your legs. And then, here, let me turn again. Okay, so you're going to take a peek at what is happening with your right ankle. And if the foot is if your foot is flexed, so your toes are pointing in the same direction as your knees, that's going to put a little extra torque on your knees. So I'd suggest staying more upright in your seat instead of lying all the way back. But if you can keep your right ankle straight, meaning your toes are pointing behind you, and your right ankle is like making this nice long line, you might explore bringing the hands back behind you. Again, you can lean back on a couch, resting your elbows there, or on a chair. If you can go a little bit further in it, only if your body is telling you yes, then maybe you lay all the way onto your back. You can support the back body, the spine with props. Some of you might have the range of motion to just lay on down, and that is impressive, my friends. Please don't hurt your knee just to do that, though. Okay, so the goal is not to go as far as you can possibly humanly go, but to listen to your body today. Where do you feel sensation? How can you make yourself 10, 15, 20% more comfortable in this shape? You're looking for a sense of relaxation, a mild sense of stretch, not an excruciating sensation. A little bit more mild. So really less is often more in our longer holds, our yin postures. Do you remember that, I'm sure this still exists, Laffy Taffy? It's been a while since I've had one of those. So what I remember about Laffy Taffy is this great analogy for muscle tissue. If you tried to bite that off while it was cold, that Laffy Taffy would like break and kind of stick on your teeth. But if you warmed it up, it would get kind of stretchy and it would elongate and you could it was more malleable. So muscle tissue can be a little bit like that. It's pretty elastic when it's warmer. Or in this case, when our body, our nervous system feels safe, our muscles start to relax, they become a little bit more malleable. All that is to say is try not to be in a rush to get anywhere in particular. Try to listen to the signals from your body. That in and of itself is a practice, right? Just a couple more breaths here. Okay, so nice and slow, we're going to begin to make our way to an upright seat. Take your time. And begin to extend that right leg out long at an angle. Again, you have that same option with the left leg, or you can keep the knee bent and the sole of the foot resting against that right inner thigh. We're going to fold forward over this right leg. You might pull the flesh of the right glute back behind you so you're really on your sit bone as you fold over your right leg for 2 minutes. It's completely normal for things to feel really different from side to side. And that's just another bit of data, a little bit of information about where your muscles are tight, where you need to pay a little bit more attention. Make sure you're breathing slowly through your nose. Try to relax all those little face muscles, your neck muscles, your shoulders, even your elbows, wrists, and fingertips. Try to relax there too. And let's take one more breath where we are. You can bring your hands underneath your shoulders, begin to make your way to an upright seat. Just very briefly, we're going to descend right off into our final Shavasana. We'll take about a minute to just stretch out on our backs. I'll invite you to stay there to close your practice, but you can also end in an upright seat. And we'll end how we began with our rounds of Brahmari breath. All right. As you're ready, maybe relaxing on your back and closing your eyes. Let it all go, let it all rest. Just 1 minute here in your Shavasana. So feel free to stay longer in your Shavasana. Feel free to close your practice on your back just as you are. If you wish to, you could come to an upright seat. And we'll close our practice with 5 rounds of Brahmari breath. As a reminder, you're inhaling through your nose, your exhale, you're humming. There's that tone of vibration at the back of the throat. It's okay if your cadence is different than mine. To begin, we'll inhale, exhale, hum. One more time. returning to a normal breath. Joining your hands together over your heart, bowing your chin to your chest. Taking a moment here to honor your practice with reverence and gratitude to all of our teachers, past, present, future, to the teacher within your own heart. Namaste, yogis.